Hello. I needed to work on a couple of books. Looks like I'm working just on some stuff of my own tonight, and thought I'd flip the camera on and talk about something. Um, First, so this I just got in the mail yesterday. Picked this up off of eBay. Uh, I'm going for a full run of What If, and this is the one of the expensive, if not the most expensive issue of What If out there. It's probably this and 105 from Volume 2 for the first Spider Girl. Both go for quite a bit. Um, I'm probably, we'll see how it cleans up, but I'll probably end up sending this in to get graded with my batch that I spoke of on a recent video. Um, uh, Probably in replacement of a couple other books. I was going to send in um, Captain America #6, the first Winter Soldier, and the DC Spotlight, which is the previews of um, Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen. After doing a little work on them, after I got after getting a closer look at them while I was working on them, uh, more than just sort of the this looks really good, might send it in, sort of pass that I did. I decided the risk probably wouldn't pay off. For those more modern books, you really need to get a good grade for it to be worth it. Uh, and getting a closer look, I found some imperfections in them that I didn't notice before. When you're actually working on stuff, you really get down in there and see um, the things that are problematic. So after doing that, I decided against it. No big deal. Just not going to do it. But I'm probably going to send this. We'll see what it looks like when I get done. But it's a pretty good looking copy of this book. Um, so what I wanted to talk about, just nothing really to do with what I'm doing, um, but talk about why I started doing this in the first place. Why did I start um, doing cleaning and pressing, and why did I create sort of a small business out of it? Um, Seems like a reasonable question. Seems like a fair thing to talk about. Um, Actually, let me put this aside for a second. Bring something else on camera. It all really started with this. This is what started the whole thing. Um, I had a bunch of books that I wanted to send in to get graded. And I was on the fence about this one, of whether or not it was worth it. Um, so I took it to an acquaintance of mine that he has his own sort of comic business. He doesn't do what I do, but he does. He like goes to like conventions and stuff. He has a stock that he goes around and sells, and he also works part time at a local comic shop. So I know he kind of knows his stuff. So I took it to him and I'm like, hey, what do you think? Um, I'm thinking about sending this in to get graded. Do you think it'd be worth it? What do you think it'd come back as? And he gave me some advice. And he said basically the long and short of it is, if it had some issues. It really needed a press. He said if you got it pressed, it would probably definitely be worth it. If you don't, then it won't be worth it. And now I know better. It's like, well, you always press before you grade. You just always do, no matter what. But this in particular, it was, if you don't, it's definitely not even worth it if you don't press it. So I got to thinking of like, well, it was CBCS, and they have a pressing service that you can do. You can send it. You send it to someplace else, and then they send it to Texas, and they do the actual grading. Then I just started thinking like that, and I might be able to find somebody to send it to or something to press it. But I started thinking more and more. Like I have a significant collection. I'm gonna want to grade a lot more than just these things, not just what I have, but things I get in the future. It's probably well worth my while just to learn how to do it. And this is the book that really instigated that sort of thought process that led me to doing that. So this was one of the first things that I worked on myself and sent in. And I think it went good. Can't really see it here. It came back a 9.2, which I was very happy with. It was probably an 8.5 before. So when this came back, like, that really got me like, oh, I can do stuff with this. This is really, really cool. You can really improve on books by doing this. And there were other stuff I worked on that came back I was really happy with as well. But that was the book that really got me thinking, should I learn how to do this? And it came down to, well, it's something that I can kind of do in my spare time. It's kind of a craft, I like to have a craft, and I've gone through a few. I used to do furniture restoration, wood furniture restoration, just like restaining stuff. The problem with that is, and I did it and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I have a few pieces that I've worked on. The problem with that is you can only do it so many times. Like going out and finding pieces of furniture to refinish before you run out of space. Like I can't, I don't have room for another wooden project, a wooden furniture project. I just don't have room for any more furniture. So I just kind of stopped. I didn't, I didn't want to get into any sort of business of doing it. It was kind of just for fun. And even to get into a business, like, furniture takes up a lot of space. I don't have that kind of space to have just a bunch of furniture. So I ended up doing a few pieces for myself, and that was kind of it. But I like having a craft, and this is definitely a craft. Like, oh, well, okay, that gives me something. Not that I don't have enough to do, between other comic stuff and just reading alone. But it seemed like it was something that would be worth my while for personal reasons, for my personal collection, of being able to do that myself. It seemed like, well, I have stuff, and we'll get stuff that I'll want to improve on. Even if I don't grade it, I can still raise the condition of it to make it more valuable. Which, when you know that you can do that, it really changes the way that you do shopping for comics. When I'm looking at a key issue or something to buy at a shop, I don't look at its current state. I look at, what can I make it? Um, I also look at the current state, obviously, and the price that I pay is are willing to pay is mostly based upon its current state. I don't want to pay if it's sitting at a 6. I want to pay for it like it's a 6, but at the same time, if the reasons that it's a 6 is something that I'm pretty confident that I can bring it up. I mean, basically, and doing this doesn't cost me anything. Um, the supplies themselves, once you get over the overhead of the major stuff, um, the supplies themselves of doing this isn't a whole lot. Um, so if I can buy something at a 6 and I know I can make it a 7, basically I'm buying a 7 for a price of a 6. That's pretty great. It 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 really it really changed the way that I shopped for old comics, for key issues, key issues in particular. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing this to every issue of Marvel team up that I got. Like it's just not. There's no reason to do that. Um, but it really changes that, and for the good, because in some things I feel that I can increase the value even more. So it's almost an economy thing. Like I want this book in an 8, but I can't find an 8, but I found a 7.5 that I can make an 8. Oh, great! I mean, that's awesome. Um, so that's sort of the main reason that I started doing it. Um, for my own personal collection, I had gotten to a point where I was fairly serious about it. Um, I was buying a lot of stuff, a lot of high value stuff, stuff that I would want to get graded, or stuff that I was happy with the price that I paid for it and the grade that it was, but maybe I could make it better. Why not? Um, so that's the main reason. Now, it took a while to actually do it. I went through a bunch of dollar books. I bought a bunch of dollar books or quarter books or what have you, from local comic shops to practice on stuff. I didn't just jump right into that. Amazing Spider-Man 194 wasn't the first book that I did, um, they actually attempted anything on. Um, I purchased a number of cheap books just to practice on, after doing an amount of research of online and YouTube videos and things like that. Um, the different types of books things you have to look out for different books and whatnot. So I bought a variety of things to try out on different types of books. Your square bounds and of all different ages, of different sizes, different material, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different problems with them, just to practice on a bunch of stuff before I tried something for real. Um, this is a sharp looking book. It has some dings and dents, but I'm really hopeful this will come out nicely. Um, so yeah, so and there's a number of reasons. And when I was doing it, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy the craft of this. I enjoy what I'm doing. Not just that it's making my stuff better, but I just enjoyed the process. Again, it's a craft that I have and that I can take pride in and enjoy doing. Um, and I started thinking about, like, well, what if I could share this with others. Um, those that maybe don't have an interest in learning how to do it. They don't have the time. Don't want to risk things. Because there's risk involved with doing this, obviously. But it's a service I might be able to give to people, or provide for people. So I started thinking about that more, and to look into, well, how would I do that? Creating a small business. I wanted everything to be, if I did it all had to be on the up and up. I wasn't just going to do it sort of unprofessionally, I guess. But I would go through and make an actual business entity, get insured, because again, stuff can happen. After looking at insurance, I saw, it's not cheap, but it's something I told myself I wouldn't do it without it. I didn't want to run the risks, have that sort of liability. This is interesting. Didn't realize how almost square bound this actually is. So, and keeping in mind, how much time it would take, how much effort was I willing to put into a business, and all that, and it came down to not a whole lot. Like I have a full-time job that keeps me pretty busy, but this is something that I can sort of do on the side on the weekends. It's unlike, and I can do it in my own time. I want to do it within a reasonable amount of time and have a good turnaround for customers, obviously, but I still get to do it on my own schedule. Like if I was like my friend that, well, he goes to conventions and stuff like that. Like, well, that's on someone else's time. This is when the convention is. Either you're there or you're not. This I can do like on my downtime, when I have downtime. I don't have to sit here and do this at a specific time or on a specific day. And that was appealing. And I also saw it as an opportunity of, oh my goodness. Well, I did not see this. This is the problem of buying stuff online. There is a huge tear out of this page. Whew. That stings. That stings. Well, I'm going to put that back. I'll have to figure out what we're going to do about that. That sucks. That sucks. Well, you know what? Might as well finish this up, I guess. I got it out. It's already mostly done. hurts. Well, okay, anyway. Anyway. Where was I? Dang, that upsets me. So I also saw it as an opportunity just to meet other comic collectors. Who are into it to the same sort of degree that that I am. Which I have been able to do. It's been good. There's also the, I don't know. Get my normal. Wanting to be, how do I put it? Everyone wants to be the guy. Everyone, I don't know. At least I do. I want to be the guy. I want to have an area of expertise in something that people go to. I want to be go-to kind of person, at least in my own little area, my own little bubble of life, that when something needs done in some area, that's the person you go to. Are you in this area? Well, word is, this is the guy you go to. This is the guy. You know, I don't know. I wanted to be an expert in something. I want to be the guy. I wanted to be the guy. Now, am I going to be the guy? I don't know. I don't know if I have time to be the guy. It's a lot of work. And you know, and I don't do a lot of advertising. I'm mostly word of mouth. I just don't have time to do a lot of work with this. It's just for funsies. And that's not how you be the guy. You be the guy by going out there and being the guy. But I'm okay with being my own guy, I guess. But having some level of expertise in something. I'm not saying I'm an expert. You know, I know enough. I do enough. I've done this enough, and I get by, I guess. I definitely know more about it and have more experience in it than most people. So I doubt I'll be the guy, but you know, who knows? I've run into people like that before, and it's okay. It's okay to want to be the guy, as long as you're not stepping on toes. Sometimes there already is the guy, or it's not your place to be the guy. But it seems that lot of people, they want to be the guy or gal. That's just the phrase. I want to be the guy. But, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The reasons that I started with this, wanting to just be able to do it for myself, and then it branched into, hey, what if I really enjoy doing this, offering this as a service, as a business, gives me opportunity to do it more. Maybe bring in a little extra money, probably not. It turns out, yeah, probably not. But that's okay, because I enjoy doing it. At the very least, I do get that. I do get the enjoyment of and satisfaction of doing this, and meeting some people, and being able to make people happy, like taking their existing book and that they may love, and make it better. Something to be said. Something to be said for that, I think. Of, making people happy is important to me. So that's pretty much it. This is about done. I'll just finish it out. Don't know what I'm going to end up doing with this book. I'm not sure how much that's going to hurt it, but I definitely need to recheck the listing. That was not mentioned. This was advertised as a very high grade, and having a chunk of a page missing, it's not high grade. So I'll finish this out. I'll leave the camera rolling. Yeah, that's basically done. So thank you. Thanks for listening to me go on a little bit. Let me know what you think. Do you have any aspirations of being an expert on anything, or if not, that's fine. It takes time, right? It's a commitment that not everyone has the time for. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you later. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.